I tested Meta AI's new Sam3D and ComfyUI, and in today's video I am going to exactly show you how you can install it, run the new workflow in ComfyUI, and how you can maximize Sam3D's potential by using Sam3 segmentation and Sam3D object combined in one workflow. By the end of this video, you will have a clear understanding of what Sam3D is capable of and how you can run it efficiently in ComfyUI to create unlimited 3D AR models yourself. Having said that, let's dive right into it. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. As always, my name is Philip from Pixel Artistry, and for the ones who don't know me yet, I'm a professional 3D artist exploring the world of 3D AI generation. And today I'm incredibly excited to show you how you can install ComfyUI Sam3D objects onto your own local machine, or you can use it on RunPod.io, which I will show you in a second in case you don't have that strong of a GPU. So basically, just to show you quickly what Sam3 is about, it's a new open source 3D model that Meta released a few weeks ago, and basically here a guy called Andrea, he developed this kind of ComfyUI wrapper here for free, which is great, and which we can directly install, and then we can use the new Sam3D. So basically, just some things you have to consider before we start with the installation is that this one will take a lot of VRAM. So as you can see, this one takes about more than 32 gigabytes of VRAM. A minimum is about like 24 gigabytes. So this is what we will run today. And I will show you, because of that, a way how you can install it on RunPod.io, because it's way faster there, and if you don't have such a strong GPU, you can then just use RunPod AI for it. We will go through it step by step, with starting now with the installation. So first thing I'm going to do is going to runpod.io, and as you can see, you just need to log in. I'm already logged in with my account, and then you will have the option now to deploy a new pod. As you might see here on the top corner, I have around $7.17 right now charged, because of course when you run it through a cloud, it's not completely free. However, it's still way cheaper than to buy a new GPU, at least in the short run, because otherwise you would need to purchase more VRAM. But this way we can do that, and what you can do is, for example, that you just go to other, and then most of the time I'm just charged with like $10, and I'm saying here that I don't want to have the auto pay enabled and pressing here no, and then go to checkout, and then it will charge your Conto with like $10 and stock this up here on your rate, and this $10 you can use then. And the great thing is that it won't auto charge you or something, then it will just run until it went to zero again, but this way you really have control over how long you would like to use the service, and I will explain you in detail how this works now. The first thing we are going to need to do is setting up a ComfyUI pod, and I'm going here to deploy, and then we can choose now our GPU. And for this one, to make it as smooth as possible, I will choose here an RTX 4090. You can, for example, also choose an RTX 5090, but to keep things simple, and easy for you to set up, we will go with the RTX 4090. In case you have any questions regarding the 5090 installation, always feel free to join our Discord, or make sure to write it down below in the comments, and I will try to help you as much as possible. So we will go to RTX 4090, this is the one I'm choosing, and then very important is here that we're choosing our template. So I will go in here, then I'm going to choose ComfyUI, so that we have ComfyUI installed then I will choose in the edit mode that we maybe increase the disk size a bit more, so that we have kind of 70 gigabytes of storage that is assigned to us, and that we don't run out of storage, but you can also change this afterwards in case you need. And as you can see, it's costing us then 60 cents per hour, and you can stop it any time, and then it won't charge you anymore once you terminated your pod again. But for this while we are using it, it will charge us 60 cents per hour, which I think is a fair price for such a strong GPU that we are using here, and it's perfect for us to test out the new workflow. So what I'm going to do is hitting this one here, and then I'm going to deploy on demand. And now, as you can see, it will create a new pod for us, and then it will already start with connecting to the server, and this will take maybe a few minutes, but then it will be ready, and then we can directly dive into installing ComfyUI Sam3D. Alright, once your service is running, you will see that when everything is green over here and everything is running already, and first thing we are going to need to do is now that we open our ComfyUI terminal. And we can do that by accessing to Jupyter Lab that we have over here. So we'll just click on this one, and then it will open a new window for us with a terminal that we can then click on in a second. So basically it will look for you something like this here, and then we can just navigate here to terminal, and then it will open up a Linux terminal for us. And the great thing is the comments are kind of the same, so you can also do this on your own machine on Windows with just hitting CMD and then, you know, saving your path and then navigating to the correct path where your ComfyUI installation is, because apart from that it will be exactly the same for you. So basically what we need to do is that we typing in our first comment, and this is very easy, don't worry, you don't need to be a technical person or something for that. So I will quickly show you this now. So what we need to do is first that we typing in CD for change directory and then workspace, RunPod Slim, ComfyUI custom nodes. You will also see this over here because right now we are in our workspace, then RunPod Slim, ComfyUI custom nodes is here. And this is basically the path that we are typing in over here. So I will hit enter, and as you can see, we are now successfully in our custom nodes folder over here with our terminal. And now we need to clone our Sam3D ComfyUI over here into this folder. And this is also very easy. So we're just typing in git clone, and then I will just copy this one here. So this link, make sure that you have the full link, and then we can hit enter. And then it's cloning the whole folder base into this folder. And next thing is now that we typing a new one, which is in this case CD ComfyUI Sam3D objects. Then we will dive into this folder basically. So we are at this stage now. And what we can do here is that we need to run this Python file over here to install it. It's also obviously called install.py, so perfect. And what we need to do then is that I'm going in here, Python 3, typing in Python 3 install.py. This will launch Python and then install the script, and then we can hit enter, and then it will already start the installation. And this is basically everything you need to do to make the installation work. There's just one more thing we need to do, but we will do this in a second once we launch ComfyUI. And once the installation is done, you will see this over here when it says okay, installation complete. We will then go back to my pods, and then we can launch ComfyUI by just clicking on here, and then it will open ComfyUI for the first time. And you will then see that it's opening a completely fresh ComfyUI for us, and we can then close this window here, and then we can open our first workflow, which I will of course link you down below. Also all the comments that we're doing right now in the terminal, I will also link you down below in a PDF guide. I have to decide still how I do it, but yeah, just for you to know that you will find it in the video description. So basically I'm going here to file open, and then I will choose the workflow that you can then download from the video description. So we go in Sam3D, and then I'm going to open the pixel artistry 3D sam3gen.json. So we'll quickly open this one, and as you can see, our nodes are red. And this is because we first need to restart our ComfyUI because it launched before, then we did the installation, and now we have to restart it again. So I will just quickly click here on manager, restart, confirm, then it will restart ComfyUI for us, and then all our nodes should be there. Make then also sure to refresh the page one more time, and as you can see now all our nodes are there and everything is working. This one you can always ignore. I have that a lot in the workflows I'm using. I don't know why. I think it's a ComfyUI bug or something, but this one you can just ignore. It's no error at all. So basically we are now almost ready to start and generate our first model with Sam3D. There's just one thing still to do, and this is that we need over here a Hugging Face token. And as you can see, it's saying here your token here, because when we would launch the workflow now, it wouldn't work and it would give you an error over here. So when I would run it, it then saying here fail to download checkpoint, because we need a token for it. So I will show you now quickly how you can do that. So we first need to navigate to huggingface.com, and as you can see here, I'm already logged in because you will need to have an account for it, and then we can go to Sam3D objects as the first thing. And as you can see, I already have access here, but for you it will look something like that. You have to fill out your name, then as well your organization if you have one, and as as well your email address, I think, or something like this. Anyways, you just need to fill it out, then make sure to send it, and then usually they will approve you after a few minutes. I think it's going through some AI or something, and then it will check that. And then once you have access, you will get then a mail to the account where you signed up with for Hugging Face. And once you have the confirmation, what we can do now is actually that we're going over here on the top. Then I will go into settings, and what we need to do then is that I'm going here to access tokens, and you can see I have already some created here, also this one as a test, but for you it will look empty most of the times. And then what you need to do is here saying create new token, and then you need to go to read and just type in here a token name that you can remember, something like Sam3D meter. And then you can say create token, and then it will give you here a Hugging Face token, and this one you can just copy. Make sure that you save it somewhere, because once you close this window here, it will not be open again and you can't read this token anymore then. So just make sure to copy it and save it then on a text file or something that you can remember it the next time you're opening the workflow, or you might need it again. And you will also see that you have it over here now. I copied my token and it has read writes, which is perfect. Then I'm going back into my ComfyUI, going here to load Sam3D model, and then pasting in here the token. Then I'm pressing here OK, and now we are ready to start our workflow. And I will do this quickly by uploading our first image. Alright, and once uploaded, as you can see, I chose this one here as an example image. Just make sure that your image has no alpha or background. You can do that quickly in Photoshop or with a background remover tool in ComfyUI, and just make sure that it has then a solid alpha channel, that we only really see the character over here. And once you have that, we can then start running the workflow with the default settings we have here, and then it will start to generate our point cloud over here, because this is how it's working, that it's first creating a point cloud, but it will also create a 3D model for us. And then we can have a look at the result in a second. Alright, and once the workflow run, you will see it here when you have a successful 3D model over here. And to be honest, because we looked at now so many different 3D AI generators, Sam3D is really not the best. So as you can see, for example, from its spatial or room interpretation, let's say it like this, it's really not that great. You know, it's quite flat over here, and we also don't have that much quality in the texture, for example. I think it's still great to know, and I will show you the real strength in a second when we will look at the second workflow, but we can still refine this one here, that we get a bit of better results. I think this is still great, you know, to see the development meters going here and how you can set it up locally. But for the amount of VRAM it's taking at the moment, I think it's, yeah, still, let's say, improvable for sure. And maybe it's better for like hard surface objects, for example, which I will also show you in a second how to generate them. But yeah, this is mainly how you can set it up. In case you would like now to download, for example, your model, you will always find your file structure over here in Jupyter Lab. So you would just need to go to your ComfyUI folder then, like usually, and then you will find it here under output, Sam3D inference 1, and then you will have here your Gaussian splat rendering, because it's also exporting you a Gaussian file, but as well as a mesh GLB that you can then download. And just by right click and saying here download, and then you can save your file. And once you have that, we can then quickly open Blender over here just to take a quick look. And then you will see we also have our character over here. As you can see, it's not that great. It's also low poly. We will change it in a second. But if you want to quickly view your texture, you can do this over here. And then we can see over here her texture and stuff. So to refine our model now, we can do this also quickly in ComfyUI. What we need to do is first that we're going up with our inference steps over here. So I'm increasing this to 50, for example. Next step is then, which made the biggest change so far, is that I'm quickly disabling the with mesh post process, because otherwise it will create this low poly model of it, and we don't want this for now. So I'm setting this to failed. Texture mode I can set to optimize, so we're getting the best result there, and texture size to 2048 to 2K, for example. And to simplify, we can also up a bit, so it's not simplifying too much. And once we have that, we can now run our workflow again and see what we then get. Alright, and once generated, as you can see, we get now a bit more detail in here. It's still not great, but it's way better than what we had before. So when I look at this in Blender and compare to our old one, we can see that we have some improvements on her texture, for example, that it feels a bit sharper and overall has a better quality. As you can see, it's not on a level like the paid ones or something, but I think it's worth it to play around with it, try it with different objects, and let me know what results you are achieving with Sam3D. So basically, once we have that, and of course, to be fair, I tested here on a character, on objects, it might work better since it's also called Sam3D object. But yeah, we will have a look at this right now with testing our second workflow. So once we are back in ComfyUI, to open our second workflow, I'm doing this quickly is that I'm going to File, Open again, and then choosing our second workflow, which is in this case then the Pixel Artistry 3D segmentation that we have over here. And as you can see here, we have some models that are not installed, like the Sam3 and Load Sam3 model. And those ones that we can simply install now, even through the manager, which is even easier for this one. So I'm going to install missing custom nodes in the manager. And as you can see, we then have here ComfyUI Sam3 and ComfyUI Essentials. Then I'm going to install, and now it will install all packages and stuff that we need for it. And make sure to refresh the window, and then we will have the second workflow working. All right, and once you installed all the nodes, what we will need to do first is again pasting our token over here in the Load Sam3 model as well, so that you have it here as well as over here in this node. You can have the same token here, this will work fine. And once you have that, what you need to do is uploading here a new image. And as you can see, I chose this image here where we have a lot of different objects, and this is great to test and to show you what I mean now when we creating different objects with Sam3D in combination with Sam3. Because what we can do now is that we're choosing over here in the Sam3 text segmentation a text prompt. And here I chose, for example, toys. So Sam3 will go into this image here and search for all toys that it sees in this image. We can also choose the max detections that is set to 5 at the moment. So it will detect 5 objects at max at the moment, but you can change this number if you want. But it will just generate more masks for you. So this is fine for now. And what we can do now is first that I disable the 3D generation for now, because we want to first check what mask we are getting. And once we have the mask, we can then choose what mask we would like to transform into a 3D object. So first thing is I'm clicking this one here away, and then I'm going to run the workflow. And once done, as you can see, it generated now different masks for our 3D toys. And this is really great. It didn't detect all of them, but it's because we set our limit to 5 at the moment. So as you can see, 5 objects are selected, but now we can see that we have different masks for them, and it worked pretty flawlessly. So we have here the alien, for example, the bear, and so on. And when I would like to generate now our alien character, what I can do is that I'm going in here and see what mask it is. And this is 1 out of 5. And since it's always in Python that the listing starts with 0, this would be then a mask 0. Then this one would be what is here too. It would be then mask 1, mask 2, mask 3, and mask 4 and mask 5. Sorry, this one mask 4 kind of. And what I need to do is then that I'm typing in here start 0, and as you can see, it also selected then our alien character over here because we chose 0 from the list. So once we have that, what we can do now is that I'm re-enabling this one by clicking here, and that we have our nodes over here, and now we can start our workflow again, and now it should then generate the alien as a 3D object. And then once generated, as you can see, we have our alien character over here. And this is very great because it works out of the box just by uploading one image, and then we can choose it with the right mask and then create it. Let's try it now on a hard surface object. For example, this robot that we see over here, this little one. So what I'm going to do is typing in here robot, and then I go to run the workflow again. Of course, always disabling this part over here because we don't want to regenerate this one. So I'm going to run it again and see what mask we get now. And as you can see, we get the allocation on device. And this means that our VRAM is filled right now. So what we need to do is either unload our models and see if it works then. So let's run it again. And you see it's not working like this. And when this happens, what you need to do is basically that you restart ComfyUI. So we'll just save the workflow really quick that we have it. And then I'm going to manager, restart. and confirm. And then ComfyUI will restart and our VRAM will then be available. And once it's available now again, I can rerun the workflow and now it should work. All right, and as you can see, it recognized our robot out of the box like this, and we have him now over here. And now I can reactivate our 3D gen again, enabling it, and then rerun it again. And let's look also at our robot result. All right, and once generated, as you can see, this is our little robot then. And definitely, as well as you can see here, not the greatest quality, but I think there is still room to improve. But as you can see, it's capturing the shape quite well from our base image that we have over here. Texturing wise, we could eventually even go crazier with like 4K or something, but I think overall this is giving us a decent result in case you would like to generate multiple objects from a single image, which is kind of also explained here. And this is also highlighting kind of the workflow that we see over here, where we have multiple objects generated from this one image. They also use a batch method, you know, by generating multiple masks and then running them through ComfyUI like we do it right now here. Probably not with ComfyUI, but with, you know, Python scripts, but you can do the same now with this workflow. So I think there's still a lot of room for improvement when it comes to Sam3D objects, but I think it was still worth it to show you guys the current developments, also that Meta is doing something in this direction. And since it's open source, I think it was still worth to show it. So let me know what you think about the new model. Also let me know if you have any questions down below, and in case you have enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, and actually see you on the next one.